how Kansas City is right now with this vote for a new stadium and stuff, how are you going to get anybody that supports it?
Yeah.
Like, if they can't even watch it on television, they're not even seeing the product. They're not seeing.
Welcome to the Banter. I'm Dave. That's Hobbsy. We are brought to you by Berserk Athletics for all your team custom uniform needs. It's that time of the season, man. It's like ball season's in full effect. Hobbsy, man, what's been good with you?
Not much, man. Like you said, baseball. We got dude. So high school baseball, like we talk about all the time, is in full go mode. So just had a lot going on. Braden and the Lawson Cardinals ran the record to 8-1.
Nice.
Yeah, man, they're playing good ball. They had a doubleheader last Saturday against Barstow. Split with them. They're a pretty good little ball team there in Barstow.
Yeah.
Then they had a couple tough games this week. Maysville, which is a smaller school, they were actually pretty good. And then they had an 11 inning Coppers win against North Platte last night. So it was pretty good, man. No one wanted to win it, and then we finally came through, got a clutch hit at the end, and won that one. So been doing the baseball thing. Braden had his wrestling banquet.
I saw that.
Lawson Wrestler of the Year.
Wrestler of the Year.
Yeah, it was a tough deal too, because Tuesday they canceled their baseball game because of the weather, which was new to me because it was cold. I'm like,
it was.
What? But unfortunately, they had scheduled the wrestling banquet for that Wednesday. And, at the time, there was no baseball games, but that was also the only time they could get the baseball game in. So he couldn't be there for it. So that was kind of tough, but the coach, I guess, gave him a heads up. But I had tried to surprise him. I didn't know the coach had told him at school. So I got the superintendent to, because his son's on the ball team, I'd got the superintendent to go up and have the announcer at the baseball game announce it over the thing and embarrass him. So it's still, I think it still did what it needed to do, but I think his pawpaw got a kick out of them announcing at the baseball game and stuff. So, but yeah, other than that, man, watching opening day yesterday, getting some baseball in. I was lucky enough today. I got to watch a lot of the Braves, and it sucks we can't watch the Royals at home unless you pay God knows what. But got some of that in yesterday, but got to watch quite a bit of the Braves Phillies game, and that matchup's always, whether it's game 1 or game 160. That's one of those matchups, and anytime you get to see a team like those two, with so much talent. So got to tune into that and was just kind of excited for baseball to get started all around, like full go. So
full head on.
Man. And obviously we've had a interesting
college going, MLB going.
Yep.
There's youth teams that are already a month in and playing. And
right.
Well, I'm getting excited because our first tournament's next weekend.
Oh yeah, so, it's time.
Man, it's time, man. And I caught some opening day. I caught the Baltimore Orioles.
They're good. Ooh, yeah, they're good.
They're they're fun to watch.
Yeah, man, they're I agree there. And in that division, and then I don't know if you saw tonight yet. So Jackson Holliday's first at bat. They sent him back to the minors to work on his approach to left-handed hitting.
Yep,
is what they really wanted him to do. So he's playing for Norfolk, the Tides. His first at bat of the season, off a left-handed starter, he hit an absolute tank, just an absolute bomb. So it's like, oh my God, it's only a matter of time, man. That team's just loaded.
Their ace goes out and throws.
Yeah. Man, and I was saying it all year. Every trade that happened, everybody was all about the OHANTI trade. And like the Soto trade, don't get me wrong. I'm like, man, Corbin Burns to the Orioles is bigger than anybody's going to know.
Yeah.
Because he goes under the radar a little bit. I'm like, dude, you got a surefire, no doubt, number one pitcher now on that team, which is the only thing they were really missing.
Yeah.
He goes out there and just deal it.
Well, I did. I caught that game. Of course, unfortunately, didn't get to see the Royals home opener. Plus it being a work day, but not able to catch it on TV. MLB. I'll say it again. Figure the shit out.
No, that ain't no doubt.
This is how you lose fans.
Yeah.
That's how you lose young fans. Because I remember growing up, and I'm sure you do, is that you were able to watch your favorite local players on TV.
Right.
You knew pretty much who everybody was. And now I remember being 12-year-old and probably name you the lineup when
Yeah.
1 through 9 and who the first starting 3 pitchers are, but yet I can go to my son and say, can you name anybody else other than Bobby Witt or Salvi? And
like,
who?
Well, and it's so much bullshit that they can't get everything. I mean, I get the world with technology and stuff. You got to have streaming services and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you pay for MLB TV,
Yeah.
that alone should not get. I don't give a shit what kind of contract or rights are in anything. You should be able to watch local baseball.
You should.
And the fact that, especially how Kansas City is right now with this vote for a new stadium and stuff, how are you going to get anybody that supports it?
Yeah.
Like, if they can't even watch it on television, they're not even seeing the product. They're not seeing the direction. Like you said, the youngsters aren't getting to see it, so they don't even get to understand or know who anybody is. It's just, it's a shame too, man. Especially, I know it's going to take time for the stadium, but for guys like us to watch a game at Kauffman's one thing, and it's a great experience. But to see it on TV is great too. And if this is going to be the end of Kauffman, and we have these years, but as long as I'm breathing and can watch it, I would like to see my ball games on TV at Kauffman.
Yeah.
I love the fountains. I love the jumbotron, and it's ridiculous that they can't figure out some kind of thing that you shouldn't black out local shit. I mean, just play them all, man.
Yeah.
It's just
that's why I try to start that hashtag Fire Manfred.
Right. Well, now I know we're going to get into it, but now no pressure on that guy. But I don't.
What? Let's
if we want to go into that, I know it's coming.
A number one, numero uno, when it comes to discussion of the baseball world right now, is the gamblings of Mr. Ohtani. I don't know what to believe. There's a lot of fishiness in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sketch.
Oh. The first, the initial statement.
Yep.
That he had worked with Ohtani's guys to release, that just magically completely changed and got wiped away. Like, hold on, that ain't it. Then when the Dodgers are like, whoa, hey, and then the next thing, and then he didn't field any questions when he made a statement, and I'm like, dude, number one, you've got to field the question no matter if you want to or not. Is how in God's name do you not know that much money is coming out of your bank account? I mean, I get your foreign and shit, but when you make that much money, I would imagine you would watch your bank account, even if you got accountants and everything else. That's your money.
Hey, I don't even make a third of what he makes, and I check my bank account daily.
Same. Even if I know I got $2 in there, I'm going to make sure it's still $2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's just, man, and I don't know how they're going to handle it. I don't know what side of the fence you're on with it. It's fishy, but we're going to see the difference in baseball now and Pete Rose baseball, and we're going to see the difference in the draw of Ohtani. Now, you can color it, paint it any way you want to, but when you have an enigma because there's no other way to explain him. When you have that and the amount of revenue that he now generates, and even in Anaheim he generated revenue, but we're not talking Anaheim now. We're talking when you're in when you're there and you're expected to play how they are in one of the top 4 big market teams, and all of the Japanese fan base and all the little kids around the world now, everywhere, that see this guy leads the league in home runs and this guy can pitch, and he does them both. All of a sudden, we're going to see whether he's guilty or not. This is, that the translator's taking the fall for all this.
Yep.
And, I truly, I know I've been reading, I saw a lot of guys and a lot of people saying, oh, he's going to get banned. I mean, let's be honest. Let's look at the big picture here.
He's not getting banned.
Doubt it. I highly doubt it. And what this could very well be, and if Manfred is even remotely smart about how he handles this, he wants to get this out of here and smooth this over as quick as he can. Magically, Pete Rose immediately gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. Like, you don't even fuck around. You just say, we did when you get done reviewing this whole thing, you put that as part of it. Like, you instantly be like, you address all of the media things, like, you posted, you address your fucking gambling sites. You address that you've got Kevin Hart and every other celebrity and Drake and you name it. You address that sports betting now has become such a billionaire market and has become so different than it used to be.
Yep.
You acknowledge that. You acknowledge what it is. If he didn't bet on them and you dig into it and he didn't bet on the Dodgers or bet on the Angels,
or the Angels,
if he's betting on other sports and he's not baseball betting, or even if he is, if it's not them, this is your chance to pretty much say, hey, we acknowledge what this is now. This is baseball. This is the sports world in general. This is the profit. This is the machine. And speaking of a machine, then you go get the old man. You do right by him.
Yep.
He was the scapegoat forever. You accept this is the new baseball and this is what we are now. And you put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame while he's still on this earth and can enjoy it.
Yep.
And you kill 2 birds with one stone. You get half the pressure and half of that out of the way with the OHANTI situation. And you guys our age and way younger than us and older than us, you put in arguably one of the best hitters of all time that should have never not got in there, and you acknowledge that he needs to be in there, and you do it then, and that's your smoothest way to do this whole thing.
How Pete Rose, we acknowledge you.
Facts. Because, I mean, it's a tragedy that man's not in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
It is a tragedy. I tell you what, man, it's like I heard the story, and the first thing, like you said, it popped into my head. It was like, okay, it sounds like they're sweeping it, trying to get it swept under the rug.
Oh, yeah.
Clear his name. And I go, if he's guilty, we miraculously see Pete Rose come about and, he's going to be written into the Hall of Fame this upcoming year.
Exactly. You have
that has guilty written all over it.
Because that's the only way, like, it's the only sensible way to do it. It's the I mean, you look at all of the sports and everything that's happened. So, when Deflategate happened with Brady,
yep.
It took time, but it's still acknowledged. Everyone knows about it, and no one argues that he's still the GOAT. Time has a way of doing that.
Yeah.
This, with how baseball and how gambling is now, sure, all the old school old heads are going to be like, well, he gambled, blah, blah, blah. My guys, I know you're at home on your DraftKings and you're saying that shit now. And if you've never bet on any sports, you're full of shit. And if you don't, good for you. But I'm sure you said, hey, you want to bet I can do this? We're talking about the only chance any of us are ever going to see to get an idea what Babe Ruth was like.
Yeah.
I don't see Major League Baseball saying, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and ban that guy.
You know, it comes down to me as saying this is, the unwritten rules.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was, I don't know, I can't remember if there was an actual written rule, if it was one of those unwritten rules per se.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you have guys in the hall that were, popping the pills, cheating on wives, some of them been known to be known racist back in the
I was going to say,
days.
man, Ty Cobb's in the Hall of Fame.
Ty Cobb's in the Hall of Fame.
If you know baseball history, like you knew me, if anybody ever took the time to read, to actually educate themselves on it, if Ty Cobb's in the Baseball Hall of Fame, then, Pete Rose, come on down. He didn't do nothing compared to.
Hey, Mickey Mantle was a womanizer.
And a drunk.
You had those guys who were, it's just pushed to the side.
Yeah.
Hey, and then on top of it, it's like now you got so-and-so sponsored by FanDuel.
Yeah, exactly.
So-and-so sponsored by, MGM's bet, or, now ESPN has an ESPN bet.
Yeah.
So well, you mean to tell me that the time of age we're in, that there's not a writer? I'm sorry. We can be as close to ethical as people as we can be.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean we're all truly ethical.
No.
As a writer, you mean to tell me that you didn't say, "Oh, where are we at? What time of the year are we in now? March Madness."
Right.
Next to the Super Bowl, it's probably the second biggest sporting event as far as it comes to betting.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
you mean to tell me there's not a sports writer who, just because you cover baseball, that you wouldn't placing a bet on, the March Madness bracket?
Exactly.
The parlays, the just all the other little bets are, hell, how many? Oh, buy this bracket, put this money.
Yeah.
That technically, to me, is you're gambling your money.
It is for sure.
So, and the fact that like you said, was it 4.5 million?
Yeah.
It's not like it was $45.
No.
Yeah, it's not even like it was $450.
Yeah.
You didn't know where 4.5 million of your dollars were?
Yeah, that's
like, okay, where's your accountant?
Exactly. Why what is this? Why are we doing this?
So who do you have managing your money?
Yeah. What are you going to do in 10 years with all this deferred money when it starts coming in then?
So
from the Dodgers.
You mean to tell me that you had all that money in? If that's the case, I wish I had that much money and was all like, I don't know where 4.5 million of my dollars went.
Yeah, it'd be a nice problem to have. It'd be a nice problem to have. Man, it's just the culture. You think about like
it is.
It's this and the funny thing is it shouldn't surprise anybody. Like
no.
The fact that it was Ohtani, of course it's the biggest guy in baseball right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean that bad, but of course it is. I mean, why wouldn't it be? Why is that? Why is it a shock? This is the culture. When DraftKings became on the commercials, when you started getting mainstream A-list celebrities, when you had Drake the rapper putting $1 million on this game or the Drake curse, Barstool, you have Vegas, some of the game's outcomes and stuff. It's the culture. This is not a shocker. This is
it shouldn't be shocked.
No.
And think that Vegas doesn't have a play in a lot of this stuff.
And they do. I say it all the time. You cannot tell me in any sport every year, every single mainstream sport, that you're going to sit here and tell me, in any person that's a sports fan, I love the honest, pure heart of everybody that's a sports fan that they have. But again, it goes back to being an open center and, better be an open center and not a false eight. You can't fucking literally tell me as a sports fan, if you genuinely watch any sports, that not a single game every year in any sport isn't fixed.
Yeah.
It happens in every sport. And whether it's the whole game or not, an athlete, a quarter, an inning. Don't tell me that if you literally can act, like you look in the mirror and you say there's no way the game's pure, that's not a part of it now, you're full of shit. You're lying to yourself. This is, it is the culture. This is how it is now. I hate to see it be OHANTI. I hate that the timing of it is terrible. I hate that it's put like a shadow on opening day. Baseball doesn't need that, but football doesn't need it. Basketball doesn't need it. It doesn't need to be there, but the now that it's out, again, fucking handle it right. Like, swallow it. It is what it is. If he did it, suspend his ass. You're not going to ban him. You're not going to ban him. He's already going to get paid regardless. He's making, in 10 years, his 10-year deferment is the rich, highest contract ever. And get it, just acknowledge what it is, and just, you're not going to lose fans.
No.
Every year there's, every time there's been a strike, I remember listening to the old heads say, and I remember being young when the baseball strike in 94, all the old heads being like, I'll never watch baseball again. They get enough money, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward now, some of them guys are still, that I still talk to, or still see around. Hey, man, did you catch this in this Royals game? Or, hey, man, I'm like, man, you're still watching it, huh? And, you remember those things. It's like, we could get into, we can roll off this to the stadiums, that's got everybody pissed off. We need sports. And when you're in a professional sport, the gambling side of it, the money side of it, the stuff that us fans don't see.
Yeah.
Or it's there, it's dirty. It ain't. It's just like any other major market, big business. There's unions involved. It's dirty. Shit's gonna happen. Watch it and enjoy it.
They talk about this, and I think it's because baseball is known as America's pastime. It's supposed to be the purest of all the sports. Now, you have this scandal, or I call it a scandal, what's going on with OHANTI. And I'm going to say this, when they were like, oh, this is kind of a big deal. You know what? It was, for me, being who I am and being a Michael Jordan fan. Mm-hmm. And you hear the stories of what Michael would do.
Yeah, prop gambler.
Betting $1,000 a hole in golf.
Mm-hmm.
Betting, millions of dollars doing this. Going to the casinos the night before big games.
Yeah.
And what's different?
It's Michael Jordan.
And, he ended up having, a scandal per se, is when he lost his father, and I think it had to do with the unpaid bet.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it because Michael Jordan didn't place bet on basketball?
That's a good question.
Or because of the day and age, you don't have the social media, you don't have the stuff, all that stuff saying it's not easy to find out.
Right.
Hell, Michael Jordan could have been placing bets on college basketball.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like with Jordan, like I said, the same thing with Brady. Everybody knows Brady cheated. It's not a secret. Anybody that still doesn't think that he did is a liar. They know better. They lie to themselves about it.
Yeah.
But when you're, it's always going to be different when you're past being famous. You're past being a legend of your sport. It's when you hit iconic. That's the part that gets forgotten.
Yep.
Or they people choose with anything. You know how it is. It don't matter what it is in life. You determine how you see anything.
Yeah, I agree.
no matter what it is, it's for you to differentiate from anybody else what you perceive as great, not great, bad, not bad, and sports is no different. And I feel like when it comes to, I would call us, and a lot of our buddies and a lot of people we know, like diehard sports fans in general, like every sport, whether we like one more than the other one, you can't not set us down and us not at least know some of the players' names or, be able to, there's been a stage in every part of our lives where we've talked or paid attention to some of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like to the people that don't do that, the casual fan or the ones that just watch the fucking news for just to listen to all of the loads of horse shit every day, it's why you see Brady in a light or why you see Jordan in a light outside of like sports fans in general already see him as iconic, but those are usually the only people that those people truly recognize.
Yeah.
Like it's what they think of when you say basketball.
Yeah.
So you see any normal person, you go out and you say, "Hey, do you watch basketball?" No. Do you know anything about it? No. Who do you know?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, LeBron James.
Yeah.
If LeBron did some gambling.
Yeah.
What's funny is do you honest to God think you and me can sit here right now and it would make the news? They would blast off with it. Would it do anything to his legacy? No. I mean, they'd be like, yeah, he gambled. It would give the LeBron haters more ammo. It would give them the, well, yeah, and he also gambled, but then when you're on the Jordan side of it, pot meat kettle there. But it's to me, man, like the whole thing is just, I hate to see it. The timing's terrible, but like the faster people get it out of their head that like, and I'll happily eat crow if I'm wrong on it, but dude, they're not banning Shohei Ohtani from baseball.
No.
The fucking revenue that man generates and how live and mainstream gambling is in sports betting now it is what it is.
For some odd reason, here's my take on it: is it's going to drag out.
Oh yeah, for a long time.
It's going to. How would you say if it gets swept under the rug for a while? If some odd chance, I doubt it. Say the Dodgers are out of the playoff race.
Yeah.
I think it resurfaces.
Yeah, and then suspend his ass then.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it don't matter.
We suspend you for the rest of the season, suspend you through the first month of next season.
Exactly.
Comes back, they're on top.
Exactly. They're not timing it in. We're not gonna get headline.
No.
National League Championship Series. We're not gonna get, say, if it's, the Dodgers probably.
Yeah.
And then we're not gonna get, hey, we're gonna suspend Ohtani, and we're not gonna get that Braves Dodgers matchup or the Phillies Dodgers matchup.
The Dodgers Yankees matchup.
Yeah, we're not gonna give you Ohtani and Judge or Ohtani and Soto or or whoever whoever it is. You're not gonna get that. Same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll never happen. But picture this happening. Say the Angels were actually good.
Yeah.
And I mean, hypothetically, obviously it's not the case, but fast forward to the end of this season, that man gambles. You're looking in the investigation. You tell me you're going to make a judgment on that if we were to get Dodgers Angels in the World Series and Ohtani versus Trout.
Yeah.
No way. That man would be a saint. They'd have him on every. They're just.
I look at it like this too, is like you said, the kind of the casual normal fan, and people go on about their lives. Yeah. Wasn't it just last season Tatis Jr. had our season prior had the steroid thing?
Yeah.
Tested positive, and now he's back. He's proved himself. Now he's back on top.
Yeah, and you got Wander Franco, who's one of the most upcoming players in the world, down there banging kids, allegedly. I mean, there are much more worrisome shit to worry about, like, because he's getting paid still. He is still getting paid per major leagues. why that whole thing goes on. And then it's pick your poison, people. Like this is mainstream. This is fucking
like
possibly a molester shit guy. It's like
if OHANTI can bet and lose $4.5 million,
yeah,
and he could afford $4.5 million,
yeah,
unless he's betting. I agree with the aspect unless he's betting on like the Dodgers or who they're playing against. Like, say he's saying, he's betting the parlay like Salvi will get, 3 hits tonight.
right, yeah.
That so and so goes, a certain amount of innings per night. Okay, where's the big deal?
Everybody else is doing it.
He's putting bets on who's going to lead, the league in home runs.
Right.
Okay. But that's why I said if this was $450,000,
yeah,
I don't think it's a big deal.
No, it's because it's so much, man. It's that kind of revenue.
It's swept under the rug. He's told, hey, watch what you're doing.
Yeah.
The interpreter's still around.
Yeah.
He's not fired. It's I don't know, man. I'm let's get deeper into it.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Like, I want to know. That's my thing. I want to get into
it. The Dodgers and saying, let this be the downfall to the Dodgers.
Yeah, I want to know what the hell's all like. What else? If there's more to it and stuff. That's my thing. And I hate to say it, and opinions vary, obviously, but I'm going to say it anyway. We're also talking about a millionaire Japanese baseball player in Major League Baseball.
Now,
if our country's proven anything, we're real good at hating stuff that isn't as they think it should be. So
hold on. Now,
maybe I'm going into this, but I'm going to poke
hold on.
Because
I will say this to you, because I know you frequent the casinos.
Mm-hmm.
I know somebody personally who used to work in the casinos.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
and will tell you that if you look at the casinos, who is some of your biggest gamblers around? And it's Asian people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That is. They have their own fucking section, man. And what's funny, and here's the other thing. What's funny is oddly enough, to the naked eye, when you're in a casino, when you go as much as I have, and another one of our buddies, I won't say, that has frequented them over the years, and the person that's close to you would obviously be able to tell you too, from the inside out. I think you'd be surprised that depending on what time you're in the casinos,
yep,
how many athletes that are recognizable, but when they're in normal street clothes, just with their buds, aren't exactly. It's different, but they can't and they can't sports bet, but they can go and drop $2 million at the poker table.
I've heard some rumors how some celebrities that have come through Kansas City and have stopped in casino, how they have dropped.
Yeah,
a couple million.
Yeah, there's a couple that. Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I haven't. Been casually playing at let's just say 2 a.m. or later. Especially back when I was a bachelor and lived in Gladstone and I couldn't sleep, and many times there's been times when I think I had even told some of you guys I had encountered certain people that at 2 a.m. most of the people at the casino, that's not who they're looking at for, and to the blind eye would have no idea, and I'm like, well, I'll be damned, look who it is. And it's like and he's retired, but shit, dude, I used to get a head nod, no bullshit, from Frank White all of the time at Ameristar, because Frank White would take his wife during the day and he would sit on slot machines, and it would be when I took my mom. And when you see somebody enough and you have a Royals hat on and you're a chubby bearded fellow like me, and I've got fucking big puppy dog eyes for you, Frank White knows when there's a baseball guy looking at you, and every time, like you see it enough, he would give me the and just the grin because I'm like, yeah, Frank fucking White, and I know he's retired, but I'm like, man, it's just the reality of it. It's and like I said, man, it would. I'm not saying I'm not trying to pull a race card or anything, but we're talking about a Japanese baseball player that is the king of the major league sport that back in the day we would have called our sport.
Yeah.
Which is a huge thing, and anybody that's just naive and stupid is going to be like, oh well, that Ohtani fella, blah blah blah. You know how it is, man. They'll fucking jump on anything. Just it's just dude. It's just, and the funny thing is for baseball, it paints a bad picture, but it also everybody's going to watch it.
Yeah, that's true. Now
they're all tuned back in because you never know what game you're going to watch, and they're going to drop some breaking Ohtani news.
Well, besides that, still MLB, get your shit together.
Yeah, figure it out.
Blackout. You're stealing from the fans, stealing from young fans who can't watch local teams. It's ridiculous that you black out the area, and we can't enjoy guys who enjoy the sport. Then you wonder why guys like ourselves pay attention more to, say, the Orioles or the Red Sox, or hell, I mean, God, you had the Diamondbacks put up 14 runs in one inning.
Yep, just showing off.
But, we got to say it, man. Baseball, you're rocking a classic.
Oh yeah,
I got a classic.
Oh yeah.
I think I showed you, but we got the 30-year anniversary.
Very nice.
Of when 1993. This was the original Florida Marlins color.
Mr. Orestes Destrade, my Florida. Orestes Destrade, name drop. Look him up if you don't know.
If people don't understand, you had a young Dontrell Willis.
Oh yeah.
But you have another cap that I am searching for in different ways.
82 All-Star game. Yeah, dude. I have the other one too, like traditional colors of this.
Yeah.
The old school blue, the red, blue, white one. This one is funny. I like I said, you need me to talk about this. Like every time we go somewhere, like I told you, anytime I go on vacation or go out of town, I'll always go to the Lids or anywhere where I can find a normal hat and bring something home with me. And this one was actually, I think this I got in, where was I? I was either I was in Springfield, believe it or not. And I went to the Lids there at Battlefield Mall, and they had, not a lot, but they had a couple of the old schools.
Yeah.
And you know me, if anybody that don't know, especially me, for some odd reason, if it ain't purple, silver, and black, if it's blue, silver, and black, I'm sold. So I saw this and was like, and then at the old school expos, I'm like, oh yeah, you bet.
That logo is iconic.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's just, I know we said this, I have become like the side patches.
Oh yeah.
I've become big on the side patches. Especially if they have, you can't just throw a certain side patch on it.
No. Some of them are. I've seen some that you're like, what the hell is that?
I am, like I said, I have been on a kick of trying to find the old school logos.
Mm-hmm.
The old school logos, the old school, like last time I had the Oakland A's, this one, the Florida Marlins. Trying to find those old school logos that I like. I'm still on a hunt for a couple of them, but man, the Expos one, absolutely love. They're one of those traditional ones. You got to know about the Expos. God, a young Pedro Martinez
and Vladdy Daddy,
Larry
Walker.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, hold on. No, he wasn't there. Carlos Delgado. No, he was with the he was the Blue Jays.
Yep. And then a Marlin.
Yep.
You look at, and speaking of Expos, well, I'm getting bouncy screened on you. Speaking of Expos, and I brought up strike season. If anybody's a baseball person, go back and look at the Expos record in '94 when the strike happened.
Yeah.
Get you a little piece of that.
Yep.
So,
well,
the
I
Royals
haven't
record too that year.
Talking about scandals.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you
Oh,
followed this much or what you heard about, but this P. Diddy scandal going on.
Man, me and Ashley were just talking about. We went when she got home. I just got home. She got home a little after me, and we decided to go get something to eat. We were kind of talking about that on the way there. I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I'm now starting to worry that all those take that.
Bad Boy Entertainment.
Yeah, just trying to get in the Beebs booty cheeks, man. Now all those take that. So I'm like, man, I don't think anybody needs to take that no more. We need to stop that.
Take that.
Yeah, I'm like, dude,
that's a whole new meaning.
Yeah, now I know why we changed your name so many times, bud. I mean, fucking.
He is being just, all over. 50 Cent is.
They're going all in, man.
Killing him right now.
I know he was trying to he's trying to get custody, like sole custody of his kid. He's like, oh no, she's a sex worker. I'm not.
You remember Mace, the rapper Mace?
Why you over
He's
there looking
going
at
all
me?
In on Diddy now.
Yeah, didn't Mace quit rapping and go like Christian?
He did became a preacher.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Now
he's back, and now he's. Let's see. You remember Danity Kane?
Oh yeah.
Aubrey O'Day is now going full on.
I saw her talking shit. Well, dude, I'm starting to think Cat Williams might be the most real motherfucker ever.
Yeah, I agree.
Ashley and me were talking about it. He didn't say Diddy or anything, but he kept saying when on that podcast, man, that their shit was all coming, man. Like he kind of was like, how it was. He was calling out everybody. And he's like, and dude, this is and it's crazy because they just keep dropping, every one of them. I think the thing and it's funny. You think of P Diddy, I think it kind of gives you a little bit more respect for the harder dudes that didn't try to have that image. 50 Cent was like, man, I got fucking shot. Fuck everyone. I sold dope. There ain't no M&M's I was a white trash white boy. They don't ever. I don't ever remember any of some of those guys ever trying to be saints. Biggie and Tupac weren't trying to be saints by any means. DMX never apologized for being an asshole.
No. I have followed it. Of course, TikTok's all over it. Twitter's been all over it. Some of it is just so funny.
Dude, my God.
And then his former bodyguard is now coming out. They're talking about stuff with Usher.
I read one that he was talking about him and R. Kelly or something, or who was it? I saw an R. Kelly joke R. Kelly in prison just waiting for Diddy
yeah.
But yeah, I read something about him and Usher, the bouncer had to clear the hallway or something, so Usher and him could
Well, he's got the rapper Meek Mill.
Yep.
Apparently there's video recordings and video of Diddy up, take that.
Man. Hey man,
I'm all for whatever your preference is.
Right.
Now, it's when it comes to the sexual assaults and the sexual assaults amongst minors, that's where I go.
Yeah, come on, man.
Or sex trafficking.
Yeah, it's holy shit, man.
And I think because now, you and I was just you have daughters.
Yeah.
Or even you have young sons. But when it gets to the point, and I know it's like, of course, everybody's coming out and they're talking about age differences and stuff like that, and then it's like, when I think about it, because I'm an older man, and my wife is younger than I am, and stuff like that. But it's like we met as grown adults.
Yeah.
I never in the world was a 25 or 29 or 30-year-old man looking at an 18-year-old girl and thinking, I need that.
Yeah. You weren't R. Kelly and anybody.
I the world is a crazy place, man.
Man, and
it's coming out. They call him the hip hop Epstein.
Jesus. Well, dude, and you think about it too. It's why it's even worse is we're talking about like, man, that's one of the most recognizable mainstream, like pop transition, like dudes that like ever. So I mean, we're not talking, and I'm not saying like they weren't like famous and stuff, but like the guys like I mentioned stuff, yeah, they did the same thing. And I mean, they're huge too, but they were who they were, man. Like Diddy always kind of seemed like he tried to keep everyone's always, we've all read about like back when Biggie was alive that, he may have been a little shady then on the gangster side of things. But then, he kind of seemed, and then all of a sudden, and who can't sing along with the fucking P. Diddy song?
Man.
And it's like, now you're like, oh my God. So now, that was my first thought is all terrible jokes, but every song now I think of with the lyrics, I'm just going, oh.
I think, like
now
you
they
said,
got a whole different.
Cat Williams is threw it all out there, and now we're seeing it all play out in front of our eyes.
Yeah, man, he fucking hipped everybody up. Like,
I think we have a lot of nervous people in the music industry right now,
for sure,
as well as in entertainment alone, because there's a lot of people tied in with that was tied in with Diddy back in the day.
Yeah, a lot.
Hey man, I say this like I don't condone anything he did, and if it doesn't surprise me that he's on the run. He's trying to get the hell out of Dodge, especially hearing everything. But to let your sons get arrested, and no telling what else is going on behind closed doors and shit like that, or what's going on with the investigation. It's just if you're on the run, apparently something's guilty.
Yeah.
Then I'm curious, like, who tipped you off?
Yeah, like what's up with the? Well, or who's in on it? Because usually when you do I'm no fucking rocket scientist here, but I'm pretty sure when you do like full red team go, and the whole Fed team comes in like ready to rock and search your house.
Yeah.
Like it's usually like some serious shit.
Yeah.
Like you
when
don't
the
do
feds
like
are coming for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 2 different states and do raids. There's more, and now it's like, all right, well, what the hell's going? You want to know what all's up with this?
3 homes, 3 houses.
Yeah. So it's like, what in God's name was going on here?
It's I'm not a big conspiracy type guy, but it's like, when you hear like what happened with the Epstein and what was happening, and then the list that is still to this day not have been truly brought out.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's all like, oh, if Diddy gets caught, Diddy's going to out a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's going to be a lot of nervous people. And then there's a lot of other people, like you say, the 50 Cents and all that, who know, and they're like, told you.
Yeah, they're like, look,
I told you.
Well, and the crazy thing too, you think about it, like I always liken it back to like it's all just kind of comes full circle. So it again, social media.
Yeah.
So many more people with so much more ability and access to dig into things.
Yeah.
I feel like, so much shit back in the day was out of sight, out of mind. It was going on, but we weren't going to dig deep enough into it. And, you didn't just have like, now you have like so many like just freelance people, like investigation people or stuff that really, really, really can dig up some real shit. And
Yeah.
you have so much that I always liken it back to baseball. Like you think of the steroid era, man. Who didn't know? Tell me who really didn't know. Those guys
That's
didn't
why.
get, and all of a sudden, when it got brought to light,
Yeah.
the chips fell because all of a sudden they're like, well, shit, now I guess we got to do something about it. Never mind the fact it'd been going on forever, but now that you brought it up, let's go. And that's what I think. It's Epstein thing and all these celebrities now. They got so used to being in a position of power where the peon and the pissant didn't matter. And we're just here to entertain you, but we're also here to be gods in our worlds, or whatever, and do whatever we want. And now social media and people dig into stuff, and there are things that get brought to light that beforehand probably never would, because there's so many more people now being able to dig into that.
Yeah.
And this is what you get. All of a sudden, you're no longer untouchable. You are very touchable.
Well,
and now you're take that.
I think when we grew up, and how you say, how we found out about rumors or stuff with celebrities. It was usually standing in line at the grocery store.
Exactly. In the fucking tabloid.
Tabloids. Well, now all we got to do is pick this up.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, Google anybody arrest record. Anybody, fight with local Chihuahua.
If you think of, we think of some of the celebrities and the stuff that went on, that if social media was around, could you imagine, say, the partying of Ozzy Osbourne?
Oh.
If it was caught on social media.
Right.
Or
Motley Crue.
Yeah. You saw the little thing on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine that being on social media?
Oh my God, people would lose their mind. They would just be every Karen in the world would just be like running to church, like dead sprinting.
I don't get or understand, people always say we live in cancel culture days, the days of cancel culture.
What are we canceling?
What are we canceling?
Yeah, what are we really canceling? You don't have to like it. There's a whole lot of shit I don't agree with too, but I'm still gonna go on living my life.
Live my life. Like I'm not losing sleep over it.
I ain't gonna fucking put a petition out there on Facebook for every one of my whatever Facebook friends to sign this and think it's actually gonna do a fucking lick of good, and then be like, well, see, that's the problem. You're not ready to take that step towards creating something better. I'm like, no, I'm just fucking realistic, man.
Like, I think
I'm sorry,
people live in their own worlds.
Oh my God, dude, it's hurting. I tell Ashley all the time, it's the hurting effect, man. I'm convinced that like COVID fucking, there were entirely too many people that should have never, ever, ever, ever been able to sit at home in their own mind.
No.
Ever for that long, because now you get what you got. And now it's like, oh my God. Like, and it's
now
like,
we have a bunch of people who are really.
Yeah. It's just to fucking, you're like, go fucking do anything. Go fishing. Go find something to do. It's like, just live your life. Like, or just like and everybody has an opinion. Shit, we put ours on here all the time. But like, I'll read something, and just the way it's worded on Facebook sometimes, it's like, well, in my opinion. And I'm like, that's fucking great, Jenny. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, all right, Tim, that's awesome. I'm glad that you feel that your opinion is so much more important than this person's on where you're going to eat a fucking tenderloin sandwich.
I tell you what, I've learned to stay away from people and their opinions.
Oh, dude, right? It's just hurting, man. They do. You get one on it, then you get another one on it, and they just, hey, well, maybe this is the right way. I'm like, if you're not educating yourself on this, or if you don't got a college degree in it, I respect your opinion, but don't put it on me because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I've got my own.
I always laugh because you remember when we were hitting that point in social media where everything had to be fact checked.
Yeah.
Where's your facts from?
Right.
Probably the same thing your facts were from, but just read further down the line.
Yeah, I got to the small print. You were up there on the headline. It's the same thing.
People are going to, and people's opinions are always going to be kind of how they were raised.
Yeah, for sure.
I say this, and like I said, I know we said this, but it's like if you were raised Democrat,
mm-hmm.
When you think of the day and age, it's like, and then basically a lot of your family were Democrats. You were raised Republican household. It's no different than saying you were raised in a racist household.
Yeah,
pretty much you come to racist.
Yeah,
you were raised.
It's what you know.
You were raised in a household where you were free, caring, and all those ways. That's kind of how you were.
Yeah,
it's how we all are. We're all raised with the mindset of what we know.
Yeah,
what we're familiar with. And I think we got to a point through the COVID stage where I think everybody felt their opinion was important and they try to ram it down people's throats.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I said, now, like, I mean, we're here local in Kansas City, and it's like this whole downtown stadium thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, the people that are bitching about it and complaining about it maybe go to 2 games a year.
Well, yeah, and the other half of them have never fucking been to the Crossroads ever because it's too tattooey, too artsy. Yeah. It's not their scene. I'm like, if you've never been down there, been to the Brick, been to Christopher Elbows, been to the Grinders, caught a concert back behind there, done First Friday and shit, shut up. Or I'm like, I get where they're at, but shit, man. The rest of them, I'm like, Royals games.
The biggest one I saw is a lot of people were saying, "Oh, if we had look at the stadium and had 40,000 cars in it."
Oh, that thing was so funny.
And I go, for day one.
Yeah.
Let's go count the attendance come tomorrow's game.
Exactly.
Let's count the attendance on Sunday's game.
Yeah, well, and just think.
Or how about a month from now when they're 5 games, won 5 games and have lost 20?
Yeah. Or middle of August when it's 114 degrees outside.
Yeah.
With a heat index of 125, and you're in the middle of the damn sun, and the Royals are in second to last or dead last place. Go count the cars there.
Yeah.
When you get on StubHub and can buy tickets for $2.
Yep.
Yeah, you're in the nosebleeds, but opening day is an event.
Wait till the 5th inning, then move your way down.
Yeah, and opening day is an event. It's an event every year. It's the one time of the year where nobody's in first place, everyone's in first place, and it's baseball with your kids. It's baseball for everybody. It's usually hopefully nice outside. It's a tradition, and after that, when we ain't winning,
yeah,
it's gone.
It's gone.
It just goes like this. We don't do this.
But yet, you hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, if they leave, then we have more parking spots for the Chiefs games." So you can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
No. And if they leave, they think they'll have more parking for the Chiefs games. Yeah. They don't know that's what'll happen there. They don't have a clue what they'll do. That might be more real estate for other toys and fun stuff that they want to put in there.
I'll tell you what. I think people like the easy access in and out.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be a nightmare.
It'll be a nightmare for a while.
Yeah, it'll get figured out.
Downtown Wrigley Field, who's basically sits in the middle of a neighborhood. no parking around.
Exactly.
They sell out all the time.
Well, and you look at all of the downtown stadiums, it works at all of them. Like, I'm sure
Look
it
at
was rough at all
Pittsburgh.
of them, but yeah, it works at every one of them.
Oh, look, people complain like I said, Baltimore. I mean, now they have a contending team.
Yeah.
No one's going to bitch about it.
Exactly. Winning would change things. You know,
Yeah.
if this is the Royals when we're in back-to-back World Series and
Yeah.
win one, and they're saying, "Hey, guess what? We just won a World Series. We're having the parade. We're about to announce our big-ass shiny new stadium in downtown." I guarantee you a lot more people would be like, "Yeah, let's go," than we are right now.
I can understand the thought of not moving them because everybody's known Kaufman, or Decay or whatever you want to call it, and been around for years.
I love it.
It's one of the three or four oldest stadiums. You have, I think, the only ones older are Fenway Park and
Fenway, yeah.
Fenway, Wrigley, and possibly the Coliseum where Oakland plays, or not the Coliseum, but where Oakland plays.
Yep, and it's about to be gone.
Like Seattle's had a new stadium.
New York got a new stadium.
San Francisco's got out of Candlestick.
Yep.
The Rangers have a new stadium. Houston has had a new stadium. Like,
well, my thing too, man. If we didn't get a new stadium, I wouldn't lose any sleep over it because I do love Kaufman. Yeah. But if we do, I'm gonna bitch about the parking. Of course I am. But and I'm gonna still go experience it because it's a new experience and it's what I love. Yeah. We love baseball. You want to experience it. Yeah. Is it going to be a nightmare for a while? Yes. Does it? I hate that it affects small businesses, but unfortunately, that's just. I'm not an economy genius or anything, but that's just economics anywhere. So, anytime when you built Sprint Center, and I could be wrong here, but when you built Sprint Center, wasn't there shit where Sprint Center was?
Yes.
Okay.
Was it? I guess then a lot of people argue because now we have small businesses, but if T-Mobile or Sprint Center wasn't there, those small businesses wouldn't have been there. I guarantee that.
And that's the thing is there's so much to it. It's like I would hate to see them small businesses go, but we don't know. We can't predict what's going to happen with them.
No.
That might be where their buildings are now, but you don't know the legal side of it, the financial part of that, what negotiations might be made, what they could offer them, what possibly could happen. I get, you call a place a home, like you and me have homes now, or anybody's got a home. You might have your dream home, and you might call it your dream home, and then something comes along and. We're all the same. Money can't buy everything, but the right amount of money can sure make you feel a lot better about something else.
Oh yeah,
and it can put you in a better situation. And
here we are. We're complaining on moving our stadium, and you have Oakland people are complaining because they, losing the team.
Yeah, losing their baseball team,
and yet we're not even losing our team.
No, and
yet. You have that old facility, and they have one of the lowest opening day numbers. Right. It's all like, what? Okay, we had the Chargers relocate.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders have relocated. I don't know how many times.
The Oilers. Yep. The Oilers.
And
football.
Personally, I'm for the downtown stadium.
Yeah,
I think it's because then you have a sports and entertainment district. We got to catch up with the times.
Yeah, it's evolution of it all. Like I said, it's kind of like the gambling thing.
The stadium's still beautiful to me, yes, but it's going to get old and decrepit. And then you're complaining because your tax dollars are going to fix the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
You're complaining. So,
and when Kaufman goes, regardless, when you build the new stadium, it just opens up so much more stuff for Arrowhead.
Yeah.
If they stay there, like you have all of that, whether it's parking, whether it's everyone's kind of seen the blueprints for what they want to do, but it gives them so much more space to do that. We all know right now, as long as 15's healthy and wearing a Chiefs jersey, we might not win a ring every year, but by God, we're not going to be far from one any year.
Yeah.
On that side of things. So while this whole thing takes place, trust the system on that side. With the Royals, yeah, we suck now, and unfortunately, you got to spend $29.95 to watch it on some bullshit to even see who's on the team besides Bobby Witt. But like I said, winning changes the attitude to everything, and it sounds bad, but I look at it like this: it's inevitable. Usually, they're not going to leave here anyway, even if they've said, hey, they threaten the possibility of it. We all know they're not leaving. But at the end of the day, you and I both know that sports places like this, like major market, like Kansas City, not the Royals so much, but the Chiefs are. But when you have when someone like that or the teams want to move somewhere, vote or not, they're going to do it. It's going to happen.
It's crazy because I saw some arguments of people say, well, I mean, we just had the Big 12 tournament down there.
Yeah.
You're getting just as many people in town, people taking up parking, people getting to and from the T-Mobile Center, all that stuff. And then people say, oh, I'm going to tell you what. And a lot of people, when I saw that, I worked downtown when the Power and Light District was built. I saw it go from the hole in the ground to what it became. I was down there when the Big 12 tournament would come into town, and then they would bring in the NCAA tournament. Other sporting events were in town. Granted, yes, it was a pain in the ass to find parking. I get it, but at the same time, it was because why we lose the nostalgia of having tailgates.
Yeah.
So now you're forced to spend money to go to a local restaurant to eat beforehand.
Yeah.
Or go to a local restaurant or bar afterwards.
Yep.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Did we not see what the Power and Light looked like when the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl game?
Yeah. Look at all the money getting spent.
Or how about when the Big 12 was there and all the revenue it brings in?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not no economy, but look at all the generated revenue that's going to come with it. Look what it does for the street trolley. The street trolley the cars were such a big deal, and they were adamant about getting them all. Look what it does for that. Now they're full to the brim getting to the Royals games or to that district, or from this place to that place.
Yep. Now, and I go when I work downtown. Yeah, we bitched and moaned and complained because of traffic and trying to get out of work because of the tournament and all that stuff. Yeah, I get it. But you know what? When I got tickets to go downtown, I work downtown. I use my parking spot.
Right. Well, and everyone's gonna hate it, but that's the thing is you got to improvise sometimes. Like Uber will go up more. You'll have more ways to get down there. At that point, I started doing the math. By the time that was all built and shit, hell, I'll have my stepson that's in the other room. I'll drop, give him $20-$30. He's still young and naive, and hell, he'll be young enough and patient enough and in his 20s to drive down there. Yeah. Drop old stepdad off down there so I can watch me the ball game, or let's go down there. I don't have to be the guy driving the car. I can sit in the passenger seat and be like, man, this fucking sucks.
I ain't
got to be the one driving it and hitting the brakes.
I went to, when you think about it, we went down for the wrestling event.
Yeah. And we
had to walk a couple blocks and drive around.
Good for us.
but it was fine.
Yeah. You know,
We
never
did,
mind. And
we
we
didn't
were in
what?
something that was hard to park. It ain't like
Yeah.
we were in a fucking Miata. You know, we stroll up in fucking Bigfoot. Like, if anything was hard to park down there, it's the goddamn Bigfoot we were in. I needed a trampoline to get in the fucking back seat.
Hey, and the one other time I went down there for something, I was dropped off.
Right? Yeah, that was me. Like anytime, the
And it
only
was
time
like,
the
hey,
only time it ever bit me in the ass. Me and Hubbard went to Kevin Hart,
yeah,
and getting out of Kevin Hart was an absolute fucking nightmare. But at the same time, we knew that going into it, so we knew
yeah,
once we got to the car, since we weren't going to stay in the Power and Light and drink beer, that if we were going to go get in the car, we just will turn that radio on, get a sporting event on, or
or
listen. Hey, shameless plug, people. If you go down there, I know this is years from now, but if you go down there, the Banter with David Hobbs, get on YouTube, Spotify, we'll have hours of content. So while you wait, put them headphones in. Boom. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I go like this is like the best thing is I think it's people who are afraid to go downtown.
Yeah, already.
The best way is like learn the side roads, learn the back roads. Yeah, you may not like in the neighborhood you end up.
No. You'd be like, well, man, what if they steal my car? Well, if you're smart, you didn't bring your car down there. You got dropped off there.
Yeah, you.
Go down to the end of the road, get you a damn hot dog from one of the food trucks. You know,
Yeah.
if you've never been to Power and Light and you want to people watch,
Oh,
I suggest you do it once because you'll see some interesting outfits
you'll
and
see some
you'll
interesting
really
stuff.
you'll get a whole new
Or
understanding to what we're living in right now.
if you're real good and you're a young female or a young male, you just find you someone, a friend, a companion, or someone who lives in one of those condos down there. And you just say, hey, do you mind if I come and park my car in your garage? Or hey, do you mind if I stay the night? You're good to go.
Boom.
Like, come on, man. I'm for it. I think people are what it boils down to me is people hate change.
Yeah. They fear it. They don't know what it brings. They're always just scared of it. And like you're saying, you're right. I mean, I get it. I do. I understand, and I want every small business to succeed. I'm always going to support small businesses when I can, but I'm
Yeah.
also not going to sit here and say that I don't go to Walmart when I need something that's there and it's accessible for me to get.
Yeah.
So as well as I do, you work for,
A
I
small
guess he's
business.
still a small business.
He's still a small business.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you got that. I actually for a little while had a small business.
Yeah.
It's you always want people to support you, but you learn
Technically, you're trying to build a brand that it would be a small business.
right. You learn very quickly
So
that people that a lot of times support small business, they do it with
yeah.
their mouth. They never do it with their dollar.
Yep, that's true.
And and that's a lot of that down there. I think is a lot of people are doing it with their mouths that wouldn't do it with their dollar.
Well, I
That
look
sucks
at it
about.
like this: as I say, they're complaining about this little restaurant's now coming in, but this is it's not happening overnight. It's
No,
not like it passes and they're going out there the next day and starting to break ground.
right?
It's a
Yeah.
process.
And the thing with the restaurants and anybody that's been in the restaurant business or seen it, they come
You
and
may
go so
not in
fast,
5
man.
years.
Yeah, something that you might be. It's hit and miss. It's
Yeah.
it's help these
Oh,
days. It's just there's so much that goes into it. Again, like you said, it's if people are scared to change and
yeah.
it's so many people that none of us have a degree in anything that goes into it, and none of us are fortune tellers.
No.
But at the end of the day, there's some common sense involved in it too. It can only boost revenue
Uh-huh.
and only help the economy down there.
Yeah.
Like it can only magnify the district down there even more, and it can only make more money.
Yeah.
It's a giant revenue stream, and at the end of the day, is it what's best for the city? And the answer to that, unfortunately, for some people is they're not going to want to hear it. Yes, it's best for the city.
Yeah.
On the other side of it, like you look at it and be open minded, and it's not even a question. It's not irritating to you or anything. It is you're doing what's best for the city.
Yeah.
It's not just the sports. It's you're doing what's best for the city.
Your taxes have been going to worse shit.
Exactly.
So
you spent more money on more bullshit than you know.
Yeah, I'm for it. I think it's going to be good for the city.
Yeah.
I think people just get jumped to conclusions right away.
Yeah, the kinks will work out.
People listen. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about supporting small businesses.
Yeah.
But I also go the aspect. But there's times where you go to a small business and you get treated like shit.
It's and sometimes exactly. There's the other side of that where some of them small businesses, because they do and they make things so well independently.
Yeah.
Or they have created a brand in their small business or something that they usually if you can start a profitable, successful small business, you usually have someone, whether it be you or whoever's with you, that is very good at something or whatever it is you're doing. And a lot of times the expenses that come with that aren't exactly expenses that you can go out and regularly say, yeah, I'm all for it and spend money there. And then two, you get some exclusive, like, I don't know, big word, exclusivity, however you say it.
Exclusive.
Yeah. Yeah. You get that exclusiveness type thing where you're not part of it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know if you've ever been to Christopher Elbows Chocolates. So just a perfect example of one. I'm not gonna lie to you, there ain't a whole lot of people can go up there and fucking just drop a whole bunch of money on a regular basis on Christopher Elbow Chocolates unless they're like doing like a First Friday deal. And then who else? A lot of people are gonna be like, man, fuck it, I'm gonna get a Reese's. Or I'm gonna get me a Hershey's. I'm not gonna go get some goddamn lavish chocolate.
I don't
things
mean
like that. It's just
like you tell me, that chocolate cost me, $50 for 3 pieces.
Yeah.
Fuck, you know how many Reese's peanut
That's
butter
what I'm saying.
cups
I mean, treat yourself. Don't get me wrong. I'm a
Is
you and me.
that thing gonna hop in my mouth and fit?
Yeah, I'm like, don't get me wrong. You and me, we splurge on hats and shit. Everybody's got their guilty pleasures, but goddamn, man, it's like, so yeah, some of them small businesses, you walk in there and you're like, goddamn, I like this. I want to support this, and the only thing you can walk out there with is like a half-eaten fucking chocolate that they were throwing away and some like napkins.
Well, man, it's funny that you say that. I kind of have to give myself a little bit of a pat on the back.
Oh.
So, we sit here and talk about our size a lot and how we eat. So I had some blood work drawn and went to the doctor's today and had a follow up and highly impressed.
Yeah.
Like how the blood pressure is good, cholesterol is better than what you would ever think.
Excellent.
About normal as can be. There's some other things that it's like I have low in like vitamin D and stuff like that I could start taking pills or some kind of stuff to help with, but telling me yet, heck, man, from the last time I went to now, I've lost some weight.
Yeah.
So it's all like, it's like, man. So that's what you talk about eating all this stuff. I joke around, I was like, man, I go ahead and splurge on this burger and this fry because I got low cholesterol right now.
Dude, I'll tell you what, that's funny. That was tonight. Like, I don't like Chinese food very much as I've gotten older. Like, growing up, I love me some Chinese buffet and Chinese food.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, like, I kind of like stopped liking Chinese food.
Yeah.
Very much. Like, and Mexican food became like, oh, like before, like when I was younger, I'd dabble in a little Mexican food, but I'm not even going to just say Mexican food. The entire Latin culture food. All of it. All of it. Fucking wonderful from anything over there. I don't give a shit. It's amazing.
Okay.
So like
Now.
I got going into that. So
Uh-huh.
tonight when I got home, I'm like what I was, I was just kind of like I was craving noodles, but I didn't want like Italian noodles. And
Yeah.
I told Ashley, I'm like, man, we might as well just go to the Chinese buffet because I'm like, there's like 18 different kind of noodles here. One of these is going to be what I'm talking about. So it ended up being like lo mein, but it was funny because like I really didn't need to go with ham or no buffet stuff, but I really needed them damn noodles. And I was just kind of laughing because I'm like, way to have some self control there, big guy. I'm like, God damn.
Hey man, I do like Chinese food.
I take it and leave it,
But
honestly.
it's like I had to be in the mood for it.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean,
But
I
you're right.
don't
Like
get in that
when
mood
I
a lot.
was younger,
Yeah.
I could
Oh,
go get a big thing of chicken lo mein
hell
and a
yeah.
couple egg rolls and be good.
I would
Now
slam
it's
that
like,
shit.
like
Exactly.
what do you want? You want some Chinese? Okay,
Now
I'm like, all
you hit me
right.
with you hit me now with I don't care if I've already ate. I ain't hungry. I don't care if it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't care if it's 10 o'clock at night. You hit me with, hey, you want to go get some queso and some empanadas, or hey, you want to go get some fucking tamales, or you want some chilaquiles or whatever, or you want any of that shit, and I'm like, yeah, I do. And I'm like, they're like, let's go get pizza, and I'm like, no, let's go get Mexican
I
food.
see women say this all the time. Men, it is true. Your woman could be mad at you. She could be angry with you. Baby, you want to go get Mexican food? That shit works.
There's nothing on earth that a
Oh,
margarita and queso dip won't fix.
exactly.
Facts. And it can be the shittiest queso dip either, as long as the margarita's good.
As long as the margarita is good.
They're golden. It is.
That is the absolute truth.
Men are always trying to figure out women. That might be the number one cheat code in the book. Like it might
That
be
is it.
that's the one. It's like, tacos, tell them they're pretty, hit them with the queso, margarita.
Man,
And you can get out of there fairly cheap too, which is amazing.
if you go, you know, she's getting mad, you can tell she's getting hangry, and she don't know what she wants, and you're sitting there kind of don't know what you want, and you just say, "Why don't we go get Mexican food?" Watch that attitude change.
Exactly. And the damnedest thing is that, if you go to a real good Mexican place too, if you didn't notice, or any Latin place for that matter, that I don't know, that us men have been trying to figure out forever, it's on the menu there. They have it. It's literally
Hey,
there.
notice where they get you now with like Mexican
Yeah.
restaurants and all the thing. Now they add pictures.
Yeah, because you're like, you said you wanted, I don't know. And you're like, there it is. Because I don't have a fucking clue what that is. Neither do you. So boom, you said you don't know. I brought you here. Now you got chips, queso, margs, and I don't know. We're ready to go. Bam. Mark it down. That's how it works.
I tell you what, man, if you're depending on where you're located, venture out one day, keep it quiet, you find that or ask around what is one of the best Mexican spots. Then that's where you take them. Because it's going to be different than the Mexican spot that you used to take them, but it's better.
And
And then
that,
they
yeah, ask the right people. Don't ask George, the white feller down at the gas station over here. Go ask some Mexican folks. And if they invite you over, don't say no. There might be 47 people over there. You might be at a birthday party.
Just go.
Yeah, they're gonna hand you some Mexican Coca-Cola, which is wonderful if you didn't know. They're gonna give you all sorts of booze because they always buy too much.
Now,
And you're gonna have all sorts of good stuff to eat.
I used to go, and it's funny you say this. My mom and my aunt used to go down to VFW, and of course, if you a true old school VFW, it's just basically walk in. There's a pool table and a bar.
Cigarette smoke.
And sometimes they have a kitchen.
Yes, they do.
Well, my mom and my aunt Go down there on Fridays. Go ahead and make them a little Mexican plate. You get like 4 tacos with a side of rice, or you get some burritos with a side of something.
Oh man.
They sell that plate for about $5. Boom.
Oh, dude, yeah. I'd buy $35 worth of plates.
I
Guaranteed.
would go down. This is when I was single, and mom, mom, you guys, we're down here. I'd go home. I would go out of my way to drive down there to get me a couple plates of food to take it home to eat.
Man.
Hey man, find it.
Yeah.
It's out.
I'm telling you too, man. And any motherfuckers that can take a fucking can of beans, people, refried beans, do God knows what to them, throw some cheese in there. They ain't even got to the meat yet. They ain't even got to show off the meat yet. They can just wrap that shit in one of them homemade tortillas, not a mission tortilla. Bam! You see little grandma on the back making that son of a bitch with a tortilla press or hand smacking them motherfuckers together, and then they wrap that shit in there, and it comes out, and it's like $2, and it's like gold. It's like literally gold, and you're like, and then you get the sauces, and there's like 8 sauces in front of you, and they don't tell you which one's hot. You just got to figure it out. And you're dipping away, and you're just fucking mowing it down, and you're like, you know what? This is happiness.
How do you always? I've been asked that before. Like, how can you tell which one's hot? Look for the little pepper flakes.
Yes, say find the pepper flakes and smell that shit.
Find the seeds. If you see the seeds and it's a little deeper red, that's where it's at.
I do the seed test, and then I'm always like, I give it one of these. If I can feel the hairs in my nose start burning or curling up, I'm like, ooh. And it's sneaky. It's sneaky when they get you the green sauce, and you're like, oh, that ain't shit. That ain't hot. Woo! Get some of that green sauce, you're like, my goddamn.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you say that too, because the kids, again, they're on their second spring break.
Yep, mine too.
So I had them today. So of course I dropped them off at grandma's house. So I go to my doctor's appointment. At my doctor's appointment, go pick them up, and I walk into a plate of burritos.
Oh.
But they were the breakfast time. You had the egg and the potato and the chorizo, all wrapped up, ready. Oh.
I learned something. You'll laugh at this. So, love me some chorizo, love it.
Oh yeah.
However, for the longest time, once I'd cook it, I would put it through the strainer. A couple of the boys that work for me about fucking shot me in the face when I told them I did that. So we're at work. I'm telling them, they're like, "You eat chorizo?" I'm like, "Yeah." And of course, they're trying to teach me how to say it right, which I can't roll the R's. And I'm like, "God damn it, let's just get to the point. It tastes good." And they're like, "Mm-hmm." And they're like, "Hold on, do you strain it? Do you strain it?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh." Then I was just an asshole from then on out. They're like, "That's why it's good. You don't do that." They're like, "Now it tastes nasty." I'm like, "No, it doesn't." And they're like, "Yeah, it does." And they're like, "You can't do that." So, as God is my witness, I will never strain chorizo ever again. Ain't doing it. We're just gonna leave it how it is for my boys.
Here, put it like this: one of the first things my boy ever learned how to make was chorizo and eggs.
Yes, indeedy.
And he will every once in a while, because there's a staple in my house. I gotta have tortillas.
Oh yeah.
And there's got to be chorizo in the fridge at all times.
It's so good, man.
And he will wake up on a Saturday, and he'll come and say, "You guys want chorizo and eggs? I'll make them."
Yep.
And he'll make us chorizo and eggs.
Hell yes. God, now I'm thinking about chorizo and eggs. I'm like, oh.
Well, Man, I tell you what. One day we're going to just have to talk about food. Summertime's coming up.
Oh,
We live in the mecca of fucking barbecue. Fuck
yeah.
Texas.
Oh yeah,
Fuck
man.
Nashville. Fuck North Carolina.
North
Kansas
Carolina
City
barbecue
is
is
the
dog shit.
mecca of fucking barbecue.
It is here. This is where it is.
Now, I've had Texas barbecue. I'm not saying it's bad. It's not Kansas City. I've
Man, and
had
I,
Memphis. It's not.
mm-mm,
It's all right.
their sauce is ass.
Kansas City is where it's at.
And it's funny
We
because
may have to take the show on the road one time.
we can do that. We can go live every fucking barbecue restaurant in the city.
Live. And like a taste test.
Mm-hmm.
You get what you like. We'll figure out what people, what people like.
Yeah, send it to us. Let us know. Comment and be like, go
Now,
here.
There are ones that I will say that are too. They're not barbecue joints. They're too classic.
Yeah, they're foofy.
Now the barbecue's good.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to go in, and when I walk out, I feel like I was sitting in the pit. You can get home, you smell your clothes.
I like to walk in LCs and never know if I'm gonna get shot or if I'm gonna get stuffed. I walk out smelling like I slept in that smoker. And some bitch is just like, oh, this fat man is gonna put in some work. Knowing so, handing me that big ass plate of food with them tater fries and just being like, and I'm like, you already know.
Yeah, you got LCs like that. Now I was born and raised off Rosedale barbecue.
My mom, you already know. Me too. I'm going there.
And my boy walks out, and let me put it like this. So we went to Jack Stack.
Mm-hmm.
Meet up with some family to have a little dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So the boy was asking like, "What is it?" I was like, "Man, it's barbecue." He knows like Gates. He knows Rosedale's. He knows that type of stuff. Man, it's a little different.
He walk in there in ties.
So, he got himself a sandwich. Well, it's good. It was pretty good. I liked it. And we get out the door and he goes, "Hey, Dad," he goes, "there's one thing I'm missing." And I said, "What?" He goes, "I walk out, I don't smell like that."
No, you don't. Not there. No, you do not. That's awesome. Man, and it's funny.
I said, "Yeah, we're going to go in smelling the same. Like we can't,
we'll go in there and come out smelling good.
As we walked in. So
right. There ain't the smoke ain't working that well."
He was all like, it was good, but it just wasn't the same.
When I learned to make the Texas barbecue, it was funny because I truly appreciated. It was Fox and Fire there in Kearney. I truly appreciated Andy, like how much he cared for what he did, and how much he loved it, and like how perfectionist he was about it, and how difficult it is to like trim a brisket like for real.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing like competition style brisket and stuff.
Yeah.
And to learn all that, dude, you in your mind you think, oh, you're just gonna learn how to work a smoker, but then when you actually learn how to like butcher meat and shit, you're like,
yeah.
Or when you learn how to make actual sausage, casings and shit. But the thing with Texas barbecue, I enjoyed every part of it that I made, and I really got a whole new respect for it all. But that was the one thing that no matter how much of it I had, whether was it Fox and Fire, whether it was me making it there, whether it's Chef Jay's, whether, don't get me wrong, Chef Jay's is good stuff.
Yeah.
But whether it's any of the guys up here doing the Texas style barbecue, because there's a lot of them up here now, and I mean they all make some solid stuff. But it's in the sauce with KC. They don't do a lot of burn ins, and they don't do the sauce. And our sauce, and burn ins.
Kansas City is known for a lot of it has to do with the sauce.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
like our sauce just different.
It's different, and I think what people don't realize if there's a difference in competitive barbecuing compared to people who open restaurants and just know how to barbecue.
Oh yeah, commercial barbecue and competitive
Commercial
barbecue are
barbecue,
completely different.
you
Yeah,
know,
they're
competition barbecue is a lot different.
oh yeah, like
And
you look at how
compared
they
to
prepare chicken,
yeah,
like in it just the chicken in general, what goes into it,
yeah.
and you're like,
So man, we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to hit out this summer. I already got fired up the grill once. I got to fire up the smoker next. I still got ribs. I'm gonna,
oh
you
yeah,
know,
oh yeah,
I think what's great about barbecuing or smoking meats is just it's if you're into it, how relaxing it can be.
it's amazing.
And when you're into it and the effort you put into it, I
Mm-hmm.
get more joy out of doing it for my family and then seeing them enjoy it more than I get like eating it myself.
Yep, yep. Because then you put in the work on it, the time it took, and then when they
Yep.
like it, you're like, and every time I make anything, because I don't do it a lot. Like I learned
Yeah.
how to do it because I wanted to learn, and
Yeah.
to do it the way I learned how to do it requires a better smoker than what I have.
And
And
it can
but
change.
yeah, but what is funny is it makes me laugh. Like when we very seldom do I like our family do family get-togethers, but like everybody when we do something, everybody brings like
Yeah.
something, and I
Uh-huh.
always like enjoying. Like I always see everyone's face. Like you always see like the families when you make something, and you can see
Yeah.
them like trying everything, and like you
You
can always tell when they go back and hammer it. You're like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like people I guess it's like the people who do it like who do it a lot and enjoy doing it is
Yeah.
you understand how your smoker works,
Hmm.
that what it takes, like, you know, try, if you're smoking meats and realize that you have nothing covering your smoker and the sun's beating on it,
Yep.
how much it affects temperature still,
Yep.
and all
Controlling the
that, like
smoke.
all those
Yep.
little nuance. It's not like just throwing charcoal on a grill and just flipping burgers.
Exactly.
Like,
How you put ribs on, when you flip ribs over, what ribs should feel like when they're cooked.
yep, it
People will say fall off the bone ribs, but you go to a competition barbecue or you
they're
do the
not
ribs
that
right.
way.
Nope. You want them to be flimsy in your hand, but you also want them
Yep.
to be firm enough that you have to make them do the little bounce. And when
I
the
was
bones
taught
start coming
that
out,
when
it's
you
not good.
come up
Yep.
and they bend but don't break,
Yep. That's where you need to
and
be
then
at.
that's it.
That's where you
So,
need to be at.
and it's like, and everybody goes says, you could have one weekend you could do smoke your ribs and it tastes one way,
Hmm.
and you come back the next week and be the exact same way and they taste differently.
Yep.
So, but man, I tell you what, uh, woo, it's a lot going on out in the sports world this week, last couple weeks.
Hmm.
The entertainment world,
Yeah.
sports world, man, like you know, our one of our favorite times of year is baseball. Uh, I tell you what, I told you Kansas was going to be Kansas. They
Yep.
took it
Yep.
early. I was kind of expecting that. Uh, haven't really watched much since then,
You'd be proud of me.
but
I did one bracket,
yeah,
just
I
one.
did one.
I had one of the guys that bullshits with me once in a while had me jump in on one with his group.
Uh huh.
I did one bracket, and I can happily say that I managed to be in the top. Right now, I'm still in the top 10 places.
Yeah,
That's not a lot, but for me, the fact I still have a couple teams that are in the bracket at all is that's pretty good for me.
I usually this year I only filled out one, and as of yesterday, I mean going into yesterday, I had all four of my Final Four teams still in it. after yesterday, I lost to one of my Final Four teams.
North Carolina? Arizona?
No, Arizona.
Arizona?
I will say this because I watch every year. I count on Arizona to do something for me.
Yep.
Every year I pick them, they let me down.
Yep.
So Arizona, I'm done picking you in my March Madness brackets.
You're done,
but
Arizona.
man, other than that, man, like I said, it's been crazy busy with work. You know, baseball picking up. I'm excited for our season to start next week.
Heck yeah.
Man, there's days I want to kill 12-year-old boys, 13-year-old boys. There's some days, but yeah, I saw, congratulations to your little man or your man, well, not even little man. I saw that, man. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, and I kept telling Ashley and his papa, I'm like, man, I just, in my head, he's got great wrestling coaches. They've known him since he was little. The head coach, Tyler Coe, he moved here a couple years ago. He's one of their football coaches and teachers. He's I don't know him that well, but he's a genuine dude. Like, he's a passionate coach.
Yeah.
He's got a great supporting cast. So it's funny because two of the guys that want to come on the show with us, one of them, they're both assistant wrestling coaches for Lawson. One of them's last name is Sullard and is related to my Braden. So it's funny. So they've known him since he was little. They know his dad. His real dad. They wrestled with him and stuff. So it was cool. It was cool to see like him get acknowledged because Braden's very quiet and it's very easy to, I wouldn't say take for granted Braden, but it's easy to because of how quiet he is. He's just a good coachable kid.
Yeah.
And he's lucky to have coaches that acknowledge that and have a good team. So it was a super proud moment. I know his papa is probably the most excited guy at all of them, which is awesome because that's their bond. They share, the wrestling is the bond that they share. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So of course I was pumped, because in my head I was like, I'd already done the voting and forecasted it. My prediction was already made. I'm like, wrestler of the year. And Ashley gives them all their little pins when they pin people.
Yeah.
So we knew ahead of time that he was going to win most had most pins because she'd kept track of everything. But man, only way to go is up. Hopefully next year we'll see where we're probably going to be at a different weight class because the old stepdad's in here absolutely pumping that boy full of food. Like the amount of the protein intake on that boy's food right now. When
hey man, you get out on that grill this summer.
Oh yeah. He's getting, there's one way or another we're either going to gain some weight for football and lose it for wrestling, or gain some weight for football and wrestle at a new weight. So,
well, I tell you what, man, it's that was awesome to see, man. Congrats to him.
I tried to get him to come on here, and he was like, "I'm gonna get him one."
I will tell you what, before we kind of get off here, man. I know you're not big into basketball, and I tell you what, I know it's March Madness season. You get a second, man. The women's March Madness.
I watched some of it. I actually turned it on the other day. That stuff's insane.
Girls, I tell you what, girls sports alone right now are absolutely blowing up.
There's some really good women, Steve.
I have gotten more into watching the women's Final Four or the women's March Madness than I have the men's. Crazy.
There's some. I watched.
These girls are crazy good. They're, of course they play with passion. There's some shit talking going on. There's some pushing and shoving going on. There's a lot of stuff. But man, I tell you what, if you have a young girl in sports right now, you have tons of role models for all these girls. Man, it's fun to see. It's fun to watch.
I want to say I watched Oregon State and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I think. And then, of course, I tuned into LSU a little bit.
Yeah.
I like their coach.
Kim Mulkey.
She crazy.
Kim Mulkey. I tell you what, I love South Carolina, Don Staley. I remember watching Don Staley play when she was in college, when she was a part of the USA Olympic team, when she went into the WNBA, and now she is the top coach, one of the top coaches in the nation, man. I remember seeing like her, absolutely awesome, man. It's like seeing, of course, girl from Iowa, Caitlin Clark, is all the rave right now.
Yeah.
I tell you what, the girl is passionate. The girl plays the game hard, talks shit,
I saw her dad telling her to shut up the other day.
but can back it up. There's a girl out there in UConn, Paige Beckers, who is an absolute stud as well. There's Juju, Juju out there in USC. She is a stud.
I was gonna say I watched USC too, because I remember USC, like I remember watching it when like USC had a run of like women there that were like ridiculous. Like, I remember like WNBA, like right after that. Like I remember USC women's basketball like for like a while. They were
long time
legit.
Yeah.
I still remember some of them.
Man, that's all. I know we talked about wrestling. We had the wrestling tournament down here, and the boy from Iowa State ended up beating the top dog from Missouri.
He did, man. Keegan O'Toole shit down his leg, man.
I had two boys on my team who were wrestlers, and their dads took them down there, and they talked about how much fun that was and how much they enjoyed it and got to see wrestling on a different level.
Oh yeah,
it's people. That's why we say downtown stuff is okay.
Yeah, for real. And and that's for what the wrestling they saw. You're talking. They got to see several men that will go on to represent the United States.
Yeah.
In the Olympics.
Yeah.
There are several world champion guys that'll go to world championships and stuff that were at that tournament.
Next week, there's a big. I know, like I said, I'm excited for it's our first tournament. Next week, we got WrestleMania.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I have someone that's jumping on with us.
Oh yeah, all right.
Miss Ashley Hudson.
Oh yeah.
She is geeked and ready to go.
Good deal.
So she was, and it was. I mentioned to her because I ran up to the shop and mentioned it to her, and she was all like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And then she had mentioned that she may actually go.
Oh shit! All right.
But she messaged me today. She's good. She's ready to do it. I said, "Well, you go ahead and get your bottle of wine, and we're going to sit down and we're going to chop it up." So that's going to be a fun one for next week.
Did you see? You seen who's on tonight? Did you see who came out?
I don't watch it while we do it, so I go watch it afterwards.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll give you a little tease. Jade Cargill is officially in the building. Like in the building. So,
man, I tell you what, I love the build up they got going for it.
Roman Reigns, man, I'm just like, you just get to sit back and not say anything.
Yeah.
You don't say shit. Just let The Rock do it all. It's fine. Let The Rock and Cody tell the whole story.
He has come back and has become the best heel I have seen in a long while.
Oh, it's awesome. And then just cussing, not giving a shit. It's amazing.
But he is taking him back to a lot of Attitude Era, which for like myself is awesome.
I love it.
I don't know how the PG crowd likes it too much.
They're getting to see the stuff we got to grow up watching.
Man, I watch it of course I watch Monday, I watch SmackDown. And the only downfall I have about Raw and SmackDown now, and I know it's because they're building up to WrestleMania, is all the the promos that are being cut.
Oh, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. I'm like, I'll tell you what though, Mama Rhodes and the Rock concert and just Cody in general, like they are killing it. And then CM Punk and when Punk came out, and then Rollins, dude, that and Big Dude, that's awesome, man. They got like Becky and what's her name? All dude, they are actually, like, to me, they are
Becky and Rhea going at it.
Yeah, they are killing it this year.
The only one I wish they would give more kind of promo cut time to is Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah, that's because I'm like, that's a huge thing.
Like, I wasn't for sure how this whole God damn it, what's his name? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. LA Knight?
I love how that's going.
Super
actually
best,
a little and now it's really taking off.
Yep.
The whole Logan Paul thing.
Styles.
The whole Logan Paul and Kevin Owens and Randy Orton thing.
Well, and then if you saw on Monday night, like the trailer for WrestleMania, like, was different than the trailer normally.
Yeah.
So when The Rock was outside beating the hell out of Cody Rhodes,
the
trailer, like, they had Easter eggs on it. The trailer had Cena and Austin. Right? The next time the trailer was up, the trailer had Charlotte Flair and one of the other guys. It's like normal. So like they had changed the trailer purposely for so I'm not so sure we ain't gonna see Cena and Stone Cold come out and do something too. I mean, and you got old school bad guy Rock. There's just, I don't know what they might be setting up something awesome. Those are two biggest rivals.
There still hasn't been a host named yet.
Exactly. And those are his two biggest rivals ever.
I was on TikTok and I saw someone was showing Stone Cold working out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you don't work out this hard unless you're working out for a purpose.
Exactly. And Sheena's already in shape. And and you got Rock back. Dude, there's a lot can go on here, and there's a lot into that with, like, and if you remember when Cody did that first promo, he said, I've been talking to a lot of people and a lot of legends and stuff.
Yeah.
And now, I really hope they do, like, this is, they're doing their best work in a long time. Like, Sammy and the Bloodline was amazing. Like, that's one of the best wrestling stories I've ever seen in my life. That was just awesome.
Wonder.
And this right now is right there with it. And the fact that your champion, like the longest reigning champion pretty much ever almost, hasn't had to say shit.
Yeah.
Except acknowledge me a couple times.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't have to say nothing.
He was it in one of the Rock's promos in one of the last SmackDowns when he got slapped and he talked about Cody's brother.
Yeah, Dustin.
Dusty.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Oh, Hall of Famer. I mean, should be Hall of Famer."
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
And then I was like, "Here comes the family lineage thing."
They're all
you talk family here, and you got Cody and family.
They're doing a great job with it, man.
But she's ready to go. I talked to her. So we're going to have to make that happen because I know she's excited to do it. And to actually get her perspective from being a female, wrestling geek, as you would say.
Mm-hmm.
And, she is into it too. And to get a female side of it is going to be awesome, man.
Yeah.
And all that. But, man, I'll tell you what, I hope, of course, man, I hope you have a good week, man. We'll chat throughout, but
sure.
Man, you got anything last to say?
No, man, I'm good. Just shout out happy birthday to my mama before Sunday. Her birthday is on Easter, so Mama Hobbs, I know she listens to us, so happy birthday to Mom. She'll already, it'll be later in the week when she sees it, but big deal for her. I hope you guys have a good Easter. Help the
Man,
family have
I
a good
hope,
Easter.
you guys do too. I'm looking forward to spending it with some family and sitting down and eating good and
Right, dude.
watching.
I'm going to Cinzetti's to eat brunch. That's where Mom wanted to go, so I'm gonna fucking hammer some arancinis. Those arancini things and some bacon.
Man, I know we're having brisket and we're having all fixings, and the fact that the weather's supposed to be nice, the kids get to go Easter egg hunting
Yeah,
in
oh
the
yeah.
back in the yard. That's always a fun time,
Hell
man.
yes.
But shit. Other than that, man, all I gotta say is I'm anxious as hell to start my baseball season
Heck
finally.
yeah, man. I'm ready for it for you. I can't wait to hear about it.
But other than that, man, I'm out of here.
All right, man.
Peace.